What is going on, guys? I'm your host Beau. Welcome back to MovieStalkers, and today I'm here to do my late movie review on the Power Rangers movie, which came out 2 weeks ago. And before you ask, no, I will not be reviewing any of the other movies that came out in March. One, because of old news, and they've been out for a while now. For instance, I won't be reviewing Beauty and the Beast, or Life, or Ghost in the Shell, mainly because they are already out in theaters, and I've heard average things about those movies, and I just haven't been that appealed to watch those. But I was interested to see Power Rangers, and I got to see it last night, and I'm here to give you guys my review. So, to put things in perspective, I am not a huge fan of Power Rangers. I'm not a huge fan of the franchise, but I do know a lot about Power Rangers. I know some of the villains. I know the Green Ranger. I know the White Ranger. I know Silver, the Red. All the Rangers. And of course, I did watch some of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but not the whole series. Um, so I do have some Power Rangers connection, but not a whole lot. Um, when I heard the announcement of a Power Rangers movie being made, I have to admit I was not that excited. I was not really that excited to hear about a new Power Rangers movie being made, and we all knew that it wasn't going to be the greatest movie of all time. In fact, I actually thought the movie would actually be average. I actually was one of the people who thought that this movie has potential to be good. I think that, they could probably take themselves a little more seriously. They could probably change up the suits a little bit, and they could probably make it a little more modern than, the 90s one was. So I went into Power Rangers with, I wouldn't say many expectations. I was just, it's Power Rangers. I saw the 44% of Rotten Tomatoes, and I was just expecting an average movie. I will tell you guys, I'm being completely honest when I say this. Power Rangers, for me, is not a good movie. I did not like this movie. Now, before I get into my review, let me state, this is my opinion about Power Rangers. I know that some people have different opinions about Power Rangers. I know that some people liked it. I know some people didn't like it. I'm on the side of didn't like it. And if you didn't like it, that's fine. You're allowed to express your opinion. You're allowed to say that you like the movie. But these are my thoughts about the movie. These are why I personally did not like Power Rangers and why I think the movie is not that good. So let me first start about the positives, and then we'll get to the negatives about Power Rangers, and then my overall score out of 10 for Power Rangers. So let's talk about the positives first, because there are some good things to be said about Power Rangers. The first thing that I did like, and the thing that I was more concerned about than anything else, was the characters. And I have to say that they actually use the characters very well, and you do get to see a lot of the background for each individual ranger. And I think the Blue Ranger, Billy, gets the most character development, and he's actually my favorite character in the movie. And he's the most relatable character because he's the one you can actually relate to in some sense. For me personally, I can relate to Billy a little in sense. And he's very funny. He's a very cool, a very cool actor for the Blue Ranger. R.J. Cyler, I believe his name is. And I believe that dude is going to be going in some places in the movie industry. You're definitely going to see more of him in more movies. And Naomi Scott as well, who plays the Pink Ranger. Those two are definitely going to go places. They're definitely going to be. You're definitely going to see more of them in future movies. I don't know about the other actors, but Naomi Scott and RJ, they're definitely going places because they were both two of my favorites in the Power Rangers. If you were to ask me who were my favorite Power Rangers, it was the Blue Ranger and the Pink Ranger. Everybody else was average, but definitely those two. And the other thing I did like is the other thing that I was very cautious about was the Power Ranger suits when they get into their suits. Well, I have to admit, when they get into their suits, it's actually pretty entertaining. Like the action scenes are they're pretty decent. I wouldn't say that they're amazing in sculpt or amazing in visual perspective either, but the fight scenes and when they're like fighting with the suits and the Zords, it's actually pretty entertaining. And I was having fun watching those scenes, and I don't know, I was entertained in that part. Now, is there anything else I like about Power Rangers? No. That is pretty much it. The characters and the fighting. Let's first talk about the first glaring negative that I have about this film, and it's something that I didn't like at all. And that is, and I kind of saw this coming, and I was hoping that they wouldn't do it, but they did it, and that is the Power Ranger suits. You don't get to see them until the very last bit of the movie. They tease you the whole way through, They tease you with one suit, and then at the end they show you all the suits and the Zords and everything. It's literally, it reminds me a lot of Godzilla, the 2014 version, where mainly Godzilla is being teased throughout the entire movie, and then at the very end you finally get to see him and see some cool action scenes. It's literally the same thing with Power Rangers. You don't see the suits until the very, very end, and to me, it's a little bit frustrating because they're trying to set up this story arc or story that the kids need to earn the power. You know, get it, power. The power to use the suits. They need to earn it by bonding with one another, and that's fine. But the way they utilized it, to me, was just boring. I just was not intrigued or really all that caring about any of the Rangers. I mean, except, of course, you know, the blue and pink Ranger. Everybody else, I just didn't care for. The Red Ranger, I didn't care for. The Yellow Ranger, look, I understand the Yellow Ranger's background is interesting because, spoiler alert, if you guys have not watched the movie, she's actually a lesbian. But I think that they just breeze by that very, very, you know, very quickly. Like, there's this campfire scene where they basically all are just showing off their backgrounds, and they just breeze by that the lesbian background very quickly because they need to get to the Power Ranger suits and the Zords. But, you know, I thought that maybe we should have learned more about these backgrounds through flashback sequences or something, not just stating them. I felt like we should have seen, like, flashback sequences because it's PG-13. Like, you can do more. Because this movie is a little bit, it is darker, it is a little more edgy, it's a little more teen drama, and in some scenes it works, but in others it doesn't. The other thing that I really did not like about this movie is Rita Repulsa, because Rita Repulsa has, I know that she was very outgoing and very, you know, out there in the original Power Rangers series, but in the movie it's the same thing. She's very over the top, and for the movie I was hoping that she'd be a little bit more Loki-esque, if you know what I mean, but she's really over the top, and I do not like that. I really did not like that. It just was very cheesy. It was just very odd. I don't know, I just did not like that. And the other things that I didn't like was Alpha 5. I thought that he was underused. I felt like he needed to have more screen time. Zordon needed more screen time. But I don't know. I mean, I just didn't like this movie. There are times where I did. Don't get me wrong. There are times in the movie where I did enjoy it. There are scenes in the movie which are nice to see. For instance, some of the training scenes that they do to get to them using the actual suits were actually not that bad, but that campfire scene and just everything else leading up to the suits was just did not work for me. And I told my friend this when we came out of the movie. I thought this would have been a lot better if done as a Netflix series. I felt like if this was a Netflix series, they would have had more time to develop the characters, more time for them to actually use the suits, and honestly, it would have been better. Like, I feel like it would have been better as a Netflix series, but that's just my thoughts. That's just what I personally believe would have been better. I know they're planning 6 movies for this franchise, but I don't know, guys. For me, this isn't a good starting for the Power Rangers. I know they teased a lot about some other cool things coming for the Power Rangers sequels, but honestly, guys, I'm not really caring for a Power Rangers sequel. I am fascinated to see where they go next, but I'm not really that on board for a sequel, or really wasn't that entertained with this movie. I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10, a 60%. It's a decent movie, but it's not the best thing in the world. I wouldn't recommend watching it in theaters. I think you should save your money, go watch something else. I mean, maybe go check out Beauty and the Beast. Go check out Logan, that's a great movie, or even Kong Skull Island's not a bad movie. Go check out those, pass on Power Rangers. Let's just say it wasn't a morphing time what I saw. But there you go, guys. There's my review for Power Rangers. I know this movie came out a long time ago, a few weeks ago, but I just wanted to give my thoughts on it. You guys let me know your thoughts on the Power Rangers movie, and let me know, did you guys think it was a good movie or a bad movie? And do you think this would have been better as a Netflix series or a TV show? Let me know in the comment section below. And that is it for my review for Power Rangers. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, as we end these videos, Beau out. See you next time. Peace.